You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode 215.
Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets.
What's up, coaches? In this episode, I'm going to share how to establish trust with your clients. Now, what if I told you that one of the top reasons that your clients aren't opening up to you and perhaps not following through on their goals, and maybe the reason why they're not renewing their coaching with you, doesn't have to do with your coaching tools, but it has to do with trust. So I want to break down for you how to create trust with your clients. I'm going to share what the difference is between trust and rapport. And I'm also going to go over some of the biggest myths that coaches have about trust that could be holding them back from having deeper transformation with their clients. And I'll leave you in this episode with some specific ways that you can create trust as well. So first, let's go over the difference between trust and rapport. They're pretty closely related concepts, but they serve different functions in a coaching relationship. So rapport is the feeling of closeness that you experience when you're around someone else. Oftentimes, I describe it as a click you feel when you are chatting with somebody. Even if you're meeting somebody new, you might notice there's some awkwardness at first when you're talking with somebody, and then there's this click that happens and you feel the connection starting. So rapport can happen very quickly. It can happen in a first interaction with a client or potential client. And rapport is great because it starts to set the tone for the rest of the relationship. Rapport really is a connection that you feel between yourself and another person. And you might establish rapport because of shared experiences or values or interests. It might come just by engaging with somebody, asking them some questions about themselves. In a coaching context, rapport comes from you creating a comfortable environment where someone can really feel seen and heard and understood. Trust, on the other hand, is a much deeper sense of reliance that your client has with their coach, with the coach's integrity, feeling like their information will be kept private, so respecting their confidentiality. And it's also relying on the coach's ability to act in their client's best interests. So as a coach, it's essential to have a foundation of safety and trust with your clients so they can fully open up to you, but also so they can fully open to the coaching process. Okay, the stronger the trust, the more receptive and the more coachable your clients are going to be. So while rapport is like the quality of the relationship, the trust is more about the safety and the security that your clients feel within that relationship. And both are essential for having effective coaching. Rapport, while they're both really essential and similar, they are also a little bit different. So I just want to distinguish them both. Rapport is really about feeling a connection, where trust is more about feeling a confidence in somebody. So you can have great rapport with someone through like friendly conversations or sharing laughter, but still not fully trust them to guide you through some of the personal challenges that you're going through in your life. Rapport is something that can be built very quickly, but trust is something that could take some time. So while rapport can be really established within just a few minutes with warmth and relatability, trust requires consistency and it's demonstrated reliability over time. And I'm going to share with you as well how marketing is a great way for you to build trust with potential clients, especially when you're looking to charge higher ticket and more premium tier coaching services, $5,000, $10,000 for your coaching and up. Having trust that you create through your marketing is so essential. And the other difference is that while rapport is about having comfort, trust is really about having security. So a client might enjoy talking to you because of the rapport they feel with you, but they're really going to take more bolder actions in their life when they trust in you and trust in the coaching process. So, why is it so key to have both trust and rapport? I've shared a couple of the examples. One is the safe space that it creates with your clients. So, when your clients feel safe and they feel understood, they're going to be more likely to share their real thoughts, their real fears, and the actual challenges that they are going through. When you're working with somebody in a coach client relationship, they are likely going to disclose some things in their life, some challenges that maybe they haven't shared with anybody else. So it's really key for you to have trust and rapport. If you don't have that, their clients might hold back, and that's going to limit the depth of the coaching process. Now, while it's important to have a safe space, I also think it's equally as important to create a strong space with your clients. So by having trust and rapport, you're also creating that strong space where your clients will be more willing to take bold actions in their life. Okay. If you don't really have the trust, they might nod along with what questions you're asking them or some of the insights they're having, but they may not implement those changes, like really taking those bold steps. And part of being a great coach is not just asking powerful questions, but it's also asking challenging and impactful questions. And this is why in Thriving Coach Academy, we teach our coaches how to challenge their clients. We teach it in the advanced coaching portion of our training. So you're not just there to help your clients achieve their goals. Sometimes you want to really challenge them to take bolder and bigger actions in their life, really go out of their comfort zones. And if you challenge a client without having that trust and rapport, they might feel judged or they might feel attacked a little bit and become defensive. So, by having that trust, they're going to be way more receptive to you challenging them because you're going to have that strong space that also goes along with the safe space. Trust is also going to reduce any defensiveness that your client might have throughout coaching. People naturally resist change, but when there's trust, they're going to be more willing to receive feedback. Like I've worked with so many coaches and personal trainers over the years, and I think about like when I have trust with a personal trainer and they tell me to do a certain exercise, I trust in them that I'm going to be safe to do that exercise as I'm exerting my body to do things maybe I'm not used to doing before, lifting weights that are heavier than weights that I've lifted before. Trust also is important because it's going to help you grow your business. It's going to increase the possibility that your clients continue to hire you over and over again and just keep renewing their coaching, but also more likely that they'll refer other people to work with you. Okay, they're going to find others in their life and say, you've got to work with this coach. They are so amazing. And rapport and trust is also important because it just builds your overall credibility and reputation, right? A coach who is consistently having trust and rapport, this enhances your reputation, how you're seen by others. And it's going to attract just more high quality and high paying clients who are really serious about their growth. Now, some of the biggest mistakes that some coaches make when it comes to building trust, number one is not establishing confidentiality with their clients. So, this is something you want to do at the very beginning of your coaching relationship. What we typically recommend for our students is to have some kind of document or agreement that you send to your clients right at the beginning, have them review it, have them sign it. And in that, you're going to acknowledge exactly how everything that they share with you will be kept confidential unless given permission to share. So you want your clients to know right away that all the personal matters they share with you is not going to be disclosed. You're going to respect their privacy. Another mistake that some coaches might make when it comes to establishing trust is by talking too much in the coaching session. So not listening enough, but spending more time putting the spotlight on you. Sometimes coaches might think that if they talk a lot, it's going to just prove their expertise. But when it comes to a coach-client relationship, your trust is really built by making your clients feel heard, not by giving them a lecture. And you can insert some personal stories into the coaching process. We teach all of our students in Thriving Coach Academy how to do this. But if you're oversharing and you're shifting the focus now to you, your client might feel like they're in the session to listen to you rather than actually be coached. Okay, and that's what makes the session so powerful when you're able to really put the focus on your client. Another mistake that coaches make with trust building is being their client's friend more than being their actual coach. So you might think that you got to treat your clients like your friends just by being very warm and relatable. And while this is certainly important to some degree, if you're being too casual or overly familiar and just friendly, then you might risk losing that professional piece of the relationship. So coaches are looking for a trusted professional to support them. A coaching session is very different from a friendly chit chat. And another way that a lot of coaches may have trouble building trust is by being inconsistent. So, trust is really built through consistency. So, if you show up late to your sessions, if you're rescheduling frequently, if you're changing the approach too often, your clients might just feel uncertain about the process and less secure in the relationship. So, you want to make sure that you are honoring your side of the relationship and following through on the promises that you are making to your client and how you're going to show up for them. Okay. Another reason why trust might not be established is if you don't own your own mistakes and if you're not really transparent with your clients. So you're human and it's okay if sometimes you make some errors. Like maybe you misunderstand a client situation. That might happen from time to time. So if you try to just cover it up, then that's going to erode the trust. But if you just own up to a mistake and you're transparent, it shows integrity and it actually strengthens the relationship. Okay, so you want to make sure that you just own up to mistakes and be adaptable as you go. Take your clients' feedback. I think that's also a great way to establish trust is by being open to receiving feedback throughout the coaching relationship. And part of our business resources we give our clients is our students in the academy is we actually have them create a client, we call it a client success tracker, which is a way for them to like track their clients' progress, but also receive feedback on their coaching as they're going through. So it shows their clients that they're willing to take feedback. They want to really provide the best possible experience. And this works wonders when it comes to creating trust with your clients. And then lastly, another way to erode trust is by overpromising and under-delivering. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are setting realistic expectations when you're working with clients. Don't like even with Thriving Coach Academy, I never advise anyone to become a coach if they're just looking to get rich quick. Right? It requires effort. It requires some time. We make it 10 times simpler because we lay out proven processes and we provide proven tools that work and create transformation. But it still requires effort. And anything in life, any meaningful results that you're creating in life is going to require effort. So you want to make sure when you're working with clients and when you're marketing yourself that you are making your clients aware of not just how effective and powerful your coaching program is and how simple you make it, but at the same time, also setting realistic expectations. So that way they don't feel like you're over promising. We want you to over deliver. That's always a great way to keep your business growing. Okay, so common assumptions that also some coaches might make when it comes to building trust is thinking that trust just automatically happens over time. Okay, it's not really about just time, like spending more time with somebody. You can spend a lot of time with somebody and still not trust them. Trust is really about being consistent, being reliable, okay, showing up at the pivotal moments in those coaching sessions. So a client can work with a coach for months and still not fully trust them, even if these elements aren't present. You want to make sure that you're having that reliability, the consistency, and following through on the commitments that you are making. It's one of the great things when you market yourself. Continuing to follow a marketing strategy builds trust. Like this podcast, for example, it's been several years now. I think we're going on our 5th year of doing this podcast. And every single year that I've done this, I've produced about 50 episodes. So, we hear people that send in messages and tell us about their experience of the podcast. They often say how supported they feel from the podcast and how it made them feel so trusting when they decided to enroll in Thriving Coach Academy. Right? When you consistently provide people with value, when you consistently help people have shifts in their life and spark new insights and even start getting some results, that's a great way to build trust, being consistently providing value to people over time. Another assumption about building trust is that thinking like you need to be this open book about everything in your personal life to gain trust. So you might think that you need to overshare and talk about all your own personal struggles, whether in sessions or in your marketing, and you don't have to do that at all. Okay, there's time and place for certain stories, which can be powerful, but your trust doesn't. It's not requiring that you reveal all of your vulnerabilities and intimate details of your life to your client. You don't have to be a like open book about all things. It's important to still have professional boundaries on the things that you share with your clients to maintain trust. And then sometimes coaches may assume that if you challenge a client, it's going to break their trust. So you might keep your coaching kind of superficial or surface level, and you might avoid some of those more difficult questions because you might be afraid that your clients will become uncomfortable. But believe it or not, trust actually comes when your client knows that their coach is willing to challenge them in service of their growth. So when we teach our coaches how to challenge, we say that you're not confronting your clients with a tough question. It's not confrontation. It's actually carefrontation, because you care so deeply about them and seeing them get great results. And that's what you need to do. You need to challenge your clients. They'll realize that your challenging is coming from a place of care. It's not coming from a place of criticism. So don't think that by challenging a client that they're going to not trust you. Discomfort needs to happen in order for there to be growth. So if your clients are having discomfort in your sessions, that's often a good sign. You're not there to keep your clients comfortable. Okay, they want results, which is going to require discomfort. So I want to share with you some direct and indirect ways that you can create trust, and also some ways you can do it in your marketing. Some of the direct ways that you can create trust, this is from the direct things that you say to your clients. So you can let them know that everything you share with them, that they share with you, is confidential. Letting your client know that they're in a judgment-free zone. Sharing with your client that they can be open with you about anything that they're feeling. Letting your client know that it's okay for them to be vulnerable with you. And simply assuring your client that they're not alone in the journey, that you're going to be with them every step of the way, that you are on their side. Saying these things to clients is super helpful, reminding them that you really are wanting them to win. Some of the indirect ways that you can establish trust, this comes from the things that you don't say, but the things that you do. So I mentioned earlier having a coaching agreement that really outlines the expectations of the coaching relationship, goes over confidentiality, and it's a great thing to just establish professionalism, having a coaching agreement. And we give all of our students in the academy an entire template that they can use with their clients that provides everything that it needs to have inside. And they can also customize it if you want to adjust it to your liking. So we give all of our students a coaching agreement template that they're able to use right away with clients. Another indirect way to establish trust is through the way you listen and the way that you hold space for your clients. So really showing that you're listening to your clients and you're understanding not just what they're saying, but also the things that they're not saying. And this is why we teach our coaches how to understand the rulebook coaching method. This is our signature coaching tool we teach, which is all about hearing what's between the lines, the rules, the limitations, the expectations that are governing your client's life and holding them back. And by listening to that rule and being able to hear it, even if they're not saying it directly, that really establishes trust. When you're able to say to a client, hey, I'm hearing this rule, can I share it with you? Your clients will feel so deeply heard in a way that they've never felt before. Another way to establish trust indirectly is just by remembering the details your clients share. So if they mention somebody in their life, maybe they're getting coaching around a relationship. I call these, when your client has other people in their life that they're mentioning, call it the key characters. So you want to know the key characters of your clients' lives. If it's helpful for you to take some notes, then do that. So that way, every time you have a follow-up session with a client, they don't have to start from scratch and re-explain certain people in their life and stories. It's like you are now immersed in their world and you understand the key players in their life. And then finally, honoring their time. So show up to your sessions on time, but also end your sessions on time. And our coaches in the academy get so much practice on timing their sessions, because if you finish a session in 10 minutes and your client is in a 30-minute session, you got to figure out a way to provide them with um, value in the remaining time in their session. That also means not going beyond the scope of your session. So you've got to know how to coach efficiently in a way where you can really get the biggest impact in the timing of your sessions, right? If you have a 30-minute session and you're going 35, 40 minutes, you might think, oh, I'm over delivering. But no, it's actually creating an inconvenience for your clients because now they are having extra time that they're getting coached rather, that they weren't planning for. So it's not always well received if you go beyond the time. You want to make sure that you can provide coaching in a very efficient, powerful manner. And then the last thing I want to share with you is on how to create trust in your marketing, right? Your marketing really is an opportunity for you to create trust with your following and your potential clients. So, the best way that I like to describe marketing is you're providing value ahead of time. You're giving people value ahead of time and for free, right? And by you not just like sometimes people think, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to post some inspirational quotes online. That's giving people value. This is still not really showing people you. So when you market, whatever strategy it is that you use, have a way in which you're showing your either your face, your voice, or most importantly, your personality. A few episodes ago, I talked about the importance of your essence and how your essence of who you are, like your just the nature of your being, your energy that you give off, who you authentically are when you put down your masks, how this is such a great way to connect and build trust. So by giving people the opportunity to experience your essence, this is going to create trust through your marketing. And then the other way you want to create trust in marketing is through sharing your client success stories. So when you have wins and your clients share great results and they provide you with testimonials, absolutely make sure that you are sharing this with your following. Don't keep your clients' successes a secret. Okay, it's one of the best ways to create trust. You'll notice at the end of most of these episodes of the podcast, we feature students in the program to not just share tips for you, but also it provides credibility for our program. It helps create trust because you hear other people that have gone through the path you want to go down and have had amazing results. So, one strategy I want to share as well, if you're not really sure how trusting your clients feel with you, don't be afraid to ask them directly. You can send them a form that they could fill out, or you could just open up a conversation with them and check in to see how how openly they feel they could share their challenges and their fears with you, right? Or maybe checking in to see, hey client, are there moments where you feel like you're holding back in our coaching sessions or you hesitate to go deeper? Because if so, I would love to talk about that with you. I'd love to see what I can provide to you or what I could say to create a safe space for you to fully trust in this process and trust in me. Sometimes a little conversation like that could be a complete game changer to the coaching relationship. Then also just evaluating yourself, right? Are you showing up consistently to your sessions? Are you prepared for your sessions? Are you following through on commitments you're making with your clients? Do you have boundaries in place? Are you respecting those boundaries with your clients? Do your clients seem engaged in the coaching process, or are they seeming like more disengaged over time? Are your clients continuing to work with you and refer others to you because of the trust you've built? That's a great way to see. And we're really grateful in Thriving Coach Academy. We have a lot of our students who refer others to our program. And like a referral is so awesome because when someone refers someone to you, they're basically saying, hey, friend, family member, I trust this coach over here or this program so much that I want you to experience how valuable they are yourself. So if you notice that your clients are not continuing their work with you or they're not referring others to you, maybe there's some exploration you can do around creating more trust with your clients. I want you all to leave this episode understanding that trust is not just a nice thing to have in coaching, it really is the foundation for transformation. Okay, if you don't have trust, the coaching's just going to stay surface level. When your clients trust you, they're going to open up to you. They'll take those bold actions and they're going to experience all the breakthroughs that they came for. Okay, so that's what I got in this episode on creating trust with your clients. Before you go, I would love to share with you a little snippet from an interview I had with one of our coaches in the academy. So they're going to talk about their experience, but also give you some tips for how you can become successful as a coach. And if you've been loving this podcast, please take a moment, leave 5 stars, write a couple of things about what you appreciate most. It means the world to see those reviews come in. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.
My name's Austin. I first discovered coaching when my management consulting firm offered an executive coach to come in and be like a supplemental service for all of the consultants. After I left that firm, I hired her personally and have been excited about making it my career journey ever since. I think what I was missing years ago in my career was a sense of fulfillment because I looked 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the line in the industry that I worked in, and I didn't like what I saw in terms of what life looked like and what was important in life to say, the people at the top. So after my very first weekend of training with Thriving Coach Academy, I enrolled my first client, my first paid client the very next day. Then I enrolled my second paid client later that week. It's been more demand typically than I can keep up with ever since. I think a big shift that had to take place in my mind in order to finally enroll paid clients was to start trusting myself to really pursue this path. And then also to trust the knowledge and wisdom of Frank and the academy that he's built, and understanding that he has figured out how to build a thriving and an ethical coaching business that is valuable to everyone involved. A couple of months into the school, I opened up 8 spots for consultations. And within one day, I had 10 people telling me that they were interested and signed up for those consultations. Everywhere I go in my life, I'm meeting people that I can help. And that's a very empowering feeling. I never would have believed how quickly not only I could raise my rates, but that I would have to raise my rates based on the demands that I received once I started putting myself and my coaching out there. I've raised my rate to a point where I am making 3 times the hourly rate that I used to make when I worked in corporate strategy in tech. Coming into the academy, I had resistance around what it would actually look like to have consultations with potential clients and offer my services. Through my own courage and the trust that I have been able to place in the academy and the resources that Frank has developed and provided, I am finding so much unbelievable success in every consultation that I have. It's never felt easier to figure out how I can help someone and not even have to convince them of that, not even have to prove how I can help the people in my life who are coming to me looking for coaching. I mean, I never would have had it this quickly without the academy. I'm 25 and I first became interested in coaching at the age of 20. And the responses that I've gotten from people in my life when I share that interest has not always been necessarily understanding of how those two things would compute. But with Frank's training, it's helped me to understand that my age has nothing to do with my ability to coach. My coaching ability is based on factors that are intrinsic to my ability to connect with other human beings, to listen powerfully, to ask powerful questions, and push people to do incredible things. To hold ourselves back based on a factor like age that doesn't really determine how much value you can bring someone, it's not a good idea to hold ourselves back. I was doing it for too long, and sometimes in my head I think, oh, I wish I would have started earlier. If you are considering Thriving Coach Academy, reach out when you before you feel ready. Reach out when you feel like you need help to understand how this can be real for you, because it really can be. And I've never been happier now that it's becoming real and has been real for me. My greatest piece of advice for a new student entering the academy would be to be coachable, because the more that we open our minds up to new mindsets and possibilities that may feel wonky, that may feel weird, all we have to do is be open to something that is perhaps different than what we've been doing. The coaches that I see who are coachable and really override a sense of ego of, well, I've already been a consultant, I know what I'm doing, and I'm smart and I can do this by myself. We can all figure it out, but we only have so much time in which to make an impact in the world. And people who are coachable make the biggest strides in their learning, their development, and they make the biggest impacts now.
Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.